Have you ever been at a public place such as a restaurant, a movie theater, basketball game, sporting event, or even your own home and noticed that today's youth is constantly on their cell phone? And what is it they're actually doing on there? Most of the time, they're engaging in social media. Social media can be anything from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and even YouTube. Has anybody taken the time to see what the side effects are all this time that teenagers are spending on social media? Researchers suggest that time spent on social media is increasing our teenage depression rate, having also an increase in bullying amongst teenagers, and even changing to the brain itself. 75% of teenagers own a cell phone, and 22% of these teenagers are on social media more than 10 times a day. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, 5% of these teenagers commit suicide every year. Additionally, 16% have considered it. This is alarming to me. Victims of online bullying are also twice as likely to attempt suicide. Being wrapped in social media has created negative cycles. Teenagers are logging onto the internet and being bullied and harassed for their points of view or for the way that they look. And this is causing an increase in depression amongst teenagers and suicide. These high amounts of engaging in social media are also taking away from the personal interactions with one another. How often do you see teenagers sitting at a table without cell phones and talking with one another and actually building those interpersonal relationships? High amounts of social media is also decreasing social bonding and is increasing loneliness. At the end of the day, our youth are not building these relationships that are needing to fulfill some of our hierarchy of needs, and an increase in loneliness is taking an effect because we're not actually building memorable relationships. Social media can also lead to negative bias and dysfunctional negative beliefs about yourself. If you are constantly getting bullied online or seeing someone who has better things than you do or looks prettier than you do, this can lead to negative perception about oneself. 23% of teens reported that they have been victims of cyberbullying, and 15% admitted to cyberbullying someone else. The study conducted by the American Academy of Pediatrics related social media victimization and depression due to high amounts of time spent on social media and less accountability for actions. It's easy to go online and to say things to someone that you would never say to their face, and this is causing a lot of issues. Cyberbullying appears to be easy, and 3 out of 4 times cyberbullying is done by a friend or done by someone you go to school with. Only 23% of cyberbullying is done by people you don't know. Cyberbullying can cause depression, anxiety, severe isolation, and suicide. Social media is also causing changing to the brain. Brain circuits are being activated when teens receive a large amount of likes on a photo or a status. During a study conducted by UCLA, researchers were able to conclude that more likes or comments, the brain saw an increase in activity across a wide region, especially in the nucleus accumbens, the brain's reward center. The nucleus accumbens is the most vulnerable during our adolescent stages. They were also able to conclude that visual aids, such as pictures, posts, and comments, activated regions of the brain to visual attention. our cognitive control and response inhibitions are also affected in this area. These brain regions are involved in decision making and can inhibit us from engaging in activities that give us the green light to go ahead and do something, or to warn us that this activity probably isn't something that we should do. Seeing risky photos, such as our friends with alcohol or cigarettes, or even seeing a friend in provocative clothing, decreases the activity in these brain regions and can alter or weaken decision-making skills. We're actually even seeing changes in white matter. Time spent on the internet constantly is starting to change the white matter in our brain, and we're starting to see the negative effects. Social media also increases dopamine, a chemical in our brain that is released when we receive likes or high amounts of comments. And dopamine can also be highly addictive. Dopamine is also released when we drink alcohol, partake in drugs, or sexual activities. These can be very dangerous in our adolescence and can lead to later on problems in our adulthood. These are some of the effects that social media can take on has on our brain. With more awareness of the downfalls in social media, we can increase the benefits in social media. Tougher anti-bullying laws will help those who are unable to defend themselves through social media, and more parent involvement in social media monitoring will help decrease cyberbullying as well.